All right. Day one, bright line eating is done. And it's day two right now, but I'm going to talk about day one. Day one wasn't so bad. I scheduled it on a Sunday to start Sunday. It was a day where I had an 8 hour meditation immersion. And that was, I think that was good because it kept me busy. I don't always do an 8 hour day of meditation. So I had somewhere to be, something to do. So I prepped my breakfast and lunch and brought it with me. And my breakfast was an ounce of oatmeal, dry, cooked. It comes to like 4 ounces, 6 ounces of strawberries, and 2 ounces of almond butter, which is, you know, I'm still weird about weighing my food, and it's probably the thing because it just feels like I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. I don't want. You're not the boss of me. I don't want. It's too rigid. It scares me the most, which I understand as something I should probably do. The thing that scares me the most. But I weighed out my breakfast, and I was surprised to see that it was like a fair amount of food, and it was delicious. And I don't normally, even in my worst binging phases, I normally don't start eating until 12, 1, 2 o'clock. And I just like that feeling. I like that fasted feeling. And I try to delay because then once I start eating, it's a frenzy. So I try to hold on to that fasted feeling and I try to delay. And but I'm doing the bright lines and I'm sticking to it and I'm doing it to the letter because I believe in it and I want it to work. So okay, breakfast. So I did breakfast and yeah, I enjoyed it. And then I wanted more. I wanted more. And this is the bowl. This is the bowl I eat breakfast out of. And I just had breakfast. And and it's topped. It's almost spilling over. It's a lot of food. But it's not what I'm used to. So my brain is just like, hey man, we're eating. As far as I know, once we start eating, we don't stop. Nom, 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 nom. So I had to just sit with that. And then that passed. And then I went to this immersion and I did the meditation thing and I had lunch. And again, I'm not going to spell out everything I had. Maybe I'll post like a picture of my diary or something like that because I write this stuff down the night before. So I had my lunch and then again, as soon as I was done, I wanted more. And I'm aware, I'm able to now see this urge as it comes up to keep going. And not only to keep going, but to not do or think about anything else. It's like, okay, what else? What else? What else can we eat? What else? What else? What else? There's no feeling of being satiated, until I let that pass because obviously I'm not going to eat anymore. And I go back into, actually was able to take a little nap because we had an hour break. So I took a little nap, felt great. And I wasn't really hungry. I wasn't really hungry at all. I started thinking about food. And now I'm able to kind of see this urge to eat versus hunger. Because by the end of the day, I felt like I was hungry. By like 6 o'clock, I was actually hungry. I didn't just want to eat. So I had my dinner with me, and I ate that. And when I ate that, it's about 6:30 at night, and I ate. That was crazy. I ate my dinner. I sat in my car. I went down to a creek. I'm also trying to eliminate anything else. I'm trying to just be with eating. I'm trying to be mindful in everything I do, but especially around food because of this fucking insidious demon, this grasp that it has on me. So I finished my food, chicken, cucumbers, spinach, something else, some avocado. It was, again, all a fair amount. And I even got the portion wrong. I gave myself the women's portion. I should have had the men's portion. So I had a little bit less than I should have. But what I experienced right afterwards wasn't because of that. It was this deep programming that now that I have a little bit of distance, 9 days, no flour, no sugar, and just one full day of Brightline eating behind me, I really see this programming that's so embedded, because I'm sitting by this creek and I see my empty little bento box, and I start to panic, because I'm like, that's it? I still have to drive home. How am I going to drive home without eating? How am I going to get home and not eat when I get home? How am I going to do anything without eating? Because that's all I do. I spend so much time as a food addict either eating, negotiating, eating, or recovering from eating. Overeating, usually. So much time. And not getting anything done, by the way. There's a lot of shit I'm trying to get done. And this business of, especially being broke, like I don't have a lot of money, so I'm trying to negotiate now financially. How much food can I get for the smallest amount of money? And it's usually all based on flavor, so I'm not getting anything healthy. So it's usually like fast food shit or whatever I could get my hands on, and then I'm constantly, and even if I'm trying to eat healthy, it's like, well, what can I eat and it's just constantly thinking about food, always involved with food. So my bento box is empty and I'm done eating and I feel like a piece of shit. I'm like, that's it. It's like I have no purpose now. No purpose to live. Now, mind you, like, I'm involved with some wonderful projects. I have some really great people in my life. I have things that need doing. Lots of things that I enjoy doing. It's not just wanting to avoid, digging the ditch because I don't want to dig the ditch. It's like I have some like dope, meaningful projects that I'm interested in with people that I enjoy working with in my life. So I have that, but I'd rather eat. And then recover from eating and then dissociate from the shame and all that, this vicious cycle. So I'm sitting in my car by this creek and I'm going back there right now and I felt disgusting because I felt scared. Like what is there for me now to do? And I had thoughts of eating, and there were all these, my brain kept offering up, it was trying to rationalize, just for now, just do this. But the bright lines, they call them bright lines because they're just clear, unambiguous lines that you don't cross. It's like, it's a goal, but it's a bright line. The fourth way, Gurdjieff calls it your aim. It's your aim. It's your truth. That's it. I'm done for the day. I ate my 3 meals. That's what I agreed on. It's like, I have to do this, and I have to be strong enough. So I hear all these things being offered up and I'm like, no. And that's what's so dope about the bright line, because under my own many systems that I've figured out, I'll do this today and then I'll do this. There's lots of room for rationalization, and lots of room to negotiate my way into a snack, and lots of room to negotiate my way back into a binge. And so on day one, I saw the bright lines at work against my own deep programming, because as much as loud as those voices were to go eat something, to go just have this for now, to go just have a little something. Also, today doesn't have to be day one. You can start tomorrow. You just had a whole meditation. You did Qigong, you did some yoga, you guys went on a walk, you had this whole emotional thing that happened, and come on, there was all of this rationalization, but no, I'm intent on, that was my day one. And I start driving home and I just feel miserable. I just feel, not physically and not underfed or anything like that, but it's as if food is my anchor, and now my ship is just fucking floating out at sea. Where am I going to wind up if I don't have my food to anchor me down? Who's going to take care of me? It's like this food is this caring component of me. And I get to the exit where there's a Domino's pizza, and it's kind of like it's really the last exit before like 15 miles to where I live. It's the last fast food thing. And I'd often pick up a Domino's just to have, order it on the app. You get one for you get a large pizza with pepperoni for $8 and eat it on the way home. When I would cook something else, maybe another pizza or whatever, and getting on that exit, wow, the urge to go to Domino's was still so strong, as much as I knew this is not what I'm doing. It was interesting to just watch that, because when you give into it, you don't really get the chance to watch it. Although I do see it, I am conscious of it when I'm still in full-on binge mode. I see the urge, and I'm like, oh, there it is. That you win today, I'm too weak. It's usually that like that. But when you fight against it, you see more of it, and you kind of drag it into the light a little bit, like fighting Freddy in a dream. You kind of pull him into the daylight a little bit. And so I start driving home, and once the exit is completely passed and there's no logistic option to actually pull over and eat somewhere, the next stretch of highway, there's really nothing to eat. And I also don't have the history of, there's a dollar store, and then there's like a market, a few miles down this way. But, and sometimes I would stop at those, but I don't have a programming for eating on this stretch of highway, because it's usually just, now we're heading home because the food is home, so I'm going to go home and eat, right? So the hunger, the urge to eat, all of that subsided, and now I start thinking about getting home, and I start thinking about, I'm going to feed the cat when I get home, and I'm like, man, it's only 7:00. Fuck, I should have just brought my food home and ate it. I should have delayed it a little bit. I start having this panic. What am I going to do when I get home? Not the countless things on my to-do list, the countless projects I need to complete, the countless, follow up, everything that I need to do. Not any of that. Nothing, not any of my practices that I should be doing. None of the myriad productive, creative, good for my soul things that I should be up to. I just think, what am I going to do when I get home and I'm not eating? How is this going to be possible? And I get home, and I come into my RV, and there's like a sense of despair. Because I'm like, fuck, I don't know what to do with myself right now. I just want to eat. And I have all this chicken that I grilled, and it's all prepped in the fridge. And, I kind of just open the fridge out of habit, and I look in there and I see the chicken, and I'm like, wow, I'm just one Tupperware lid away from having a little snack in my mouth. And I'm like, okay, no, I know. And I think about this book, and the author Susan Pierce, how she talks about it'll get better, you'll get used to it. It's reprogramming. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm just reprogramming my brain. This is going to be hard, but I'm doing it. And now I'm seeing just how powerless I've been for my whole life. And I think, well, I'll just, I'm going to go to bed soon. So I'm going to write in my food diary, because part of Bright Line Eating is to plan out your meals. My book's over there. To plan out your meals the night before based on the portion sizes, to write them down and then stick to that in your food diary. And the science behind that. It's what I love about this program. It's not even a program. It's like the way, I think. But what I love about it, one of the things is how much science backs up, how much verifiable data there is in all of the stuff that she presents to you. And this idea of writing your food down, it makes so much sense because your willpower is relative to like how many decisions you're making throughout the day. The anterior cingulate cortex, which is like behind your frontal cortex, your prefrontal cortex, it's involved. That's where your willpower comes from. And the more decisions that you have to make throughout a day, not even food based, but just in general, just the more decisions that you have to make, the more that thing becomes weaker to resisting temptation, right? Because you're using it to make decisions. Because I believe it comes from the same place. The decision making and your willpower comes from the same place. So the more you're using this thing to make decisions, like what am I gonna do? Whatever decisions that you're making, I gotta bring the kids here, then I gotta go there. I don't have kids. I don't know why I said that. But I'm trying to think of things that aren't food, but I do make mostly food decisions. So the beautiful thing about it is often when I'm in a binge or if I'm trying to be better, I'm overwhelmed because I'm like, well, maybe I'll just do this. Maybe I'll just do a little bit of this. Maybe I'll just add a little cheese to it. I'll add a lot of cheese to it. And there's just all this decision making that really cripples me. So this idea of writing down your food the day before, it takes that having to think about what you're going to eat, it takes that away, and you just eat, and it feels so free. I've done lots of, I've done one meal a day. I've done lots of multiple day fasts, and on those days, anytime I was doing that kind of stuff, I experienced that freedom of, oh wow, I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat. I know that I'm having one meal and it's going to be, I've already bought the ingredients for it, or hey, I'm fasting for 3 days and I don't have to think. Sometimes I'll forget and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I'm in a fast. Yeah, I don't have to think about it. So that freedom of not having to think about food is so much of a relief. So I thought, okay, I'm going to sit down with my journal and I'm going to write down my 3 meals for the day tomorrow for today. I'm going to write down my 3 meals. And once I start now I'm involved with food. I'm writing about it. I'm looking in the fridge, planning. And I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit more grounded because I'm just involved with food. I'm just that fucked up. I'm just that attached to it that even if I'm not eating it, like, I don't know, maybe I'll take a head of cabbage out and walk around with it or something. But I'm planning, I'm picking things up, and it's like, it's grounding me. But then I'm still getting used to the portions. It's a lot to figure out at once, but it looks like it'll get easy. It's just a lot to figure out what a portion is. And I'm trying to figure out, there's some meals that include fat and some meals where it's like, for breakfast, almond butter is a protein. So it's 2 ounces of almond butter I thought usually, so there are different portion sizes of proteins for men and women. And I was trying to figure out if I was supposed to have 2 ounces of almond butter in the morning or 4 ounces. And I was doing this decision making, that anterior cingulate cortex was on fire because I was like, what is it? And now I'm like looking it up and I'm like manic. I'm in a frenzy. I'm like trying to ask people on a group, all of this stuff. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to eat. I got this tempeh that was on sale, so I bought a bunch of it, and I'm like, I have to cook that, but I can't really use any oil, and I'm trying to figure out, wow, shit, if I cook tempeh, how am I gonna cook it if I can't fry it? I don't really want to turn the oven on. It's like 100 degrees out, or will be when I'm cooking dinner. So, and I'm starting to freak the fuck out because I'm thinking about all this stuff, and I want to just write anything down. But one of the things she points out in the book is like, whatever you write down in your journal, stick to it as a matter of integrity, because your whole life, my whole life, I have, my higher self has watched all the other parts of me give up and not stick to the plan. So there's a part of me that believes I'm not a plan sticker to her. So I need to retrain myself and have integrity with the decisions I'm making. So even if I write down a shitty meal, I have to stick to that shitty meal, within the guidelines. Even if if I fuck up and I don't put the ingredients that are tasty or something that I'm going to really want, then, I really want to stick to it. So I don't want to just write anything down. I really want to consider what breakfast and lunch will be for the next day. But I'm so overwhelmed with how I'm going to cook, and I'm ready to just go to bed. I'm ready to just call it. But again, this is one of the bright lines. You got to write your food down. So I'm like, fuck. Okay. So I figure it out. I was trying to figure out a way to fry my tempeh and have avocado, but I chose to just use oil, tablespoon of oil. That's how I'm going to cook my tempeh. Maybe I'll bake it some other day. I don't know. I close my book. I write my gratitude journal. I go to sleep. I get 7 hours sleep. And I got up about 5 a.m. today. And that was it. That was my first day. And my biggest takeaway was food addiction is as real as a heart attack. I'm fucked up because I am a slave to this deep programming that once you start not giving it what it wants, it really starts acting up, and it really starts it really just starts trying to get you back into those, because it just knows, those very deep grooves, that very deep programming. It just wants to continue to do that. And as somebody who's trying to recover from food addiction, I have to be stronger than that. So I'm really grateful that I have some great mindfulness practice in my life, some great mindfulness teachers, doing really intense somatic processing work. So I have all these resources and that's what's wonderful about Brightline is, I found it independent of any of the work that I'm doing, but she really suggests bringing all of this work together, mindfulness and meditation. And, part of the process is make your bed in the morning, have some respect for yourself, which I love. I love that it's not that's some real world shit. Make my bed in the morning, have some respect for yourself. And that to me is the crux of addiction and our issues with food, more so than, people saying, just eat less, calories in, calories out. That shit is a Band-Aid. Ozempic, the lap band, all of that shit is a Band-Aid. This addiction is no different than any other substance. And now that I'm looking at it that way and understanding that it's, healing my brain and retraining my brain, I think I feel more hopeful around this than possible, because I've lost 100 pounds dozens of times in my life. I've probably gained and lost 1,000 pounds in my life. So I know that I can do it, but I've never tried to. It's always been restrictive. It's always been intense exercise. It's always been, I'm all or nothing. It's always been extreme fasting, extreme yoga, hot yoga, 30 days, hot yoga. And I still love all that stuff. And eating, even keto almost gets it right for me. Even keto almost gets it right, because that's why I always felt so good on keto, because it does pull out the sugar and some of the flours, but it doesn't really address the issue. And also it kind of limits you from some healthy grains that if you don't have any kind of affliction to grains, and if you're not trying to actively lose weight, are perfectly fine to eat. So this Brightline stuff, why I'm so attracted to it is because it ties in anything that's ever worked for me, And it also ties in the psychospiritual part of it, and it also ties in lots of verifiable data, which to me is just like really juicy stuff, because I'm interested in how the brain works, and I'm not interested in putting a band-aid on it. That's why I never got a lap band, because I knew I would eat right through that thing and I wouldn't solve my problem. So that's it. Day 1, Brightline. I don't know what I'm doing with these here messages, these videos. Maybe I'll do one every day. Maybe I won't. I just felt compelled to at least log this. I feel like my inflammation has gone down. I have really bad arthritis, osteoarthritis, bone on bone in my left hip, and now my knee is getting kind of whacked because I'm just fat and I'm carrying all this weight, and that's really been acting up on me. But I feel like the inflammation in general, like I feel a little bit less swollen. I'm looking at my face now, just 9 days of not doing flour sugar and 1 day of Brightline. I feel like I'm a little less puffy, and I feel like, although my hip hurts, like I'm moving a little, like the slightest bit better. And I can see, when you're so fat, when you're 392 pounds and your body, everything you do hurts, everything takes effort, the slightest changes, for every pound of pressure in your body, or for every pound in your body, that's 3 pounds of pressure on your joints. So I lost 6 pounds in a week just jumping off flour sugar. So that's 18 pounds less pressure on my joints. And I feel that. I feel it getting out of the car. It still hurts. I still make noises, but there's a little bit, it's like a little bit lighter. And it's the smallest thing, and it feels good, and I'm excited to do more of it. So this is a 27-minute video. Didn't intend it to be. I'm going to keep uploading them. I really appreciate the people that have reached out and said that you also experience this. I think that food addiction is a lot wider of a problem, a lot broader of a problem, and you don't have to be fat to be a food addict, and you don't have to be a food addict to be fat. It's completely a brain thing, and unfortunately, it also ravages the body to a point where it's we become like almost debilitated. So my goal is to lose 200 pounds, but that's not really why I'm doing this. I'm healing my brain. I'm focusing on that, which is kind of a relief to not have to like think about how much weight I want to lose. I just know that I'm going to. I just believe in this program, that if I believe in the bright lines, really, that if I just stay the course and get to a right weight, my right weight is about 200 pounds less than I should be. So 200 pounds less than I am now. So this isn't like like a manic attempt to just get skinny. This is a skillful, mindful, deeply rooted, deeply supported attempt to just be free and get healthy. And I think that will result in me losing 200 pounds. So I am going to keep weighing myself and documenting all that, but I want to make it clear, my goal isn't to get skinny. My goal is to heal myself or heal my brain and my spirit, so that that'll be the, that'll be the bonus, man. Like a whole new wardrobe will be my goal isn't a whole new wardrobe, but I know I'm going to need one, because I believe in this, and I believe in it. And I'm going to start an online group to help people that want to kind of go through this with me, and want some of the information from my own experience, from the books that I'm reading, and where we can kind of just uplift each other, because I know that the support really helps me. And I would like to, I'm not doing it because I think I know something. I'm not doing it because I think that it's like, I want to be like the guy telling people what to do. I want to walk alongside people doing this stuff, because I think that's how we lift each other up. So, all right, well, 30 minutes, much too long. If you dig this, share it. I'm going to try to build my YouTube channel. I don't know what I'm doing, but peace.